What up, guys? Beard Bros, back at it like a crack addict. You know what we're doing. Another podcast. Today we got my coworker, my brother, Felipe Espinosa via Castro de la Hoya. Not just kidding.
It's two last names.
dog.
Just two?
It's two last names.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It is.
Some people have like
30.
4.
No,
I don't
they
know
have
about
like 5.
30.
They have like 5.
That's the most?
Hey, would you count like Della O as 3? Shouts out to the
Della
Della
Damn,
O's.
that's tough. Yeah, you got. That's
You know what I'm
fucked up.
saying? Because Della O, that's kind of
Nah,
three last
nah.
names. All right, whatever.
You get 1.
De La Hoya.
De La
That's
Hoya.
1.
I would honestly want my last name to be something like extravagant.
What's extravagant?
Johnson.
That seems common and white.
No, Johnson.
Just, that's all your name is Johnson?
Yeah.
What's the
Well,
Rock's
who are you
name?
telling me that the soccer player is the only guy that has one name?
What's his name?
Neymar?
Neymar. Yeah, I
Neymar?
don't think he has a
Neymar.
last name. Nene don't have a last name. I don't know if he has a last name.
Who?
Nene.
The
The
basketball
Nuggets.
player,
Yeah, he
he
only
has
has
his-
one. Well,
his-
he only goes through Nene, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing he goes by. I don't know.
I think
if
they
he,
I
were-
feel like that was a nickname.
no, I probably
Maybe.
is shit. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't be googling
Well, I
these
mean,
motherfuckers like
you gotta
that.
think about it. I mean, haha.
Clinton Dix.
You know, yeah,
That's
his-
probably the
that's
dopest
his
name in the world.
haha.
That is pretty
That's
cool.
probably the dopest name in the world.
So you think you would do LOL?
That'd be fucking funny.
Or
Hee hee.
LMAO? Is there a band called LMAO?
Yeah,
There's like a little like,
LMFAO.
yeah.
Is it?
Was
No, wait.
FAO?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it was a band. I think that was a song. I think 303 was the band.
Oh, okay.
303.
That was like a few years, like
That
10
was-
years ago.
That was like
That
a
was a
decade
shuffling
ago, buddy.
scene. That was a shuffling.
All right,
I
let's
like
jump
to
into these
move it,
subjects.
move
We
it.
got a few subjects to touch on. I'm sure you guys have heard, seen, read on Twitter, something. So a football player by the name of Kenny Stills, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, got arrested, facing possibly felony charges.
Shouts out to DeAndre Hopkins.
He's probably just chilling.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Um,
To think what he was doing, like I seen like an article about what he was actually getting into. Like every team he played for, he would get the team, like everybody on the team, to register to vote. He was in every city he played in. He would go talk to like the head people at the jails or like the police officers and get to know them and have them kind of get a relationship with black individuals and see how they react and how this and that, and kind of guide the police officers in a way to like show them how to like interact with urban or like whatever you want to call them individuals. It was kind of cool. They kind of like I don't know who it was. I think it was Bleacher Report kind of put him under the bus, but so I don't remember who it was. One of the other main guy like articles came up and kind of boosted his ego a little bit and kind of gave him a little bit of clout about what he's been doing with the whole thing. Like he got all his teammates to vote and shit like that. It's pretty
Wow.
cool. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it was
I
pretty-
didn't know
I
any-
really didn't know
See, I
that.
didn't look
honestly
too
didn't.
far into his
Yeah.
backstory.
Kenny Stills got every player that he's played with to register to vote.
That's
so.
good though.
That's good.
So it's pretty
That's good.
cool.
I
So now that
mean-
he's a felon, or if he gets convicted as a felon, I'd be sick because he's kind of like adamant about getting people.
I
to
mean,
vote.
he can still push the whole notion of needing to vote, what voting matters.
And that would
Yeah.
give him a very big platform. Like at this point in time, like like you get convicted of a felony for just protesting. Well, it's like I was reading on like Jaylen Brown. He hosted a peaceful protest and people got arrested from his protest, and it's just like
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so backstory. Let's take it back a little bit. Reasoning for the protesting was there's a female, I believe she was 26 years old. She, by the name of Breonna Taylor, she was there at her apartment home with her boyfriend. I don't believe they gave it his first name, but his name was Mr. Walker. They were at their apartment on March 13th, I believe, around midnight. They had heard knocking. Boom, 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 boom. Didn't know what was going on. Mr. Walker gets up. He's like, well, who, what's going on? Didn't know who it was. Police didn't, according to Mr. Walker, they didn't give we're the police, we're here,
oh,
blah,
like
blah,
this
blah.
is RPD.
Right,
Open
and the
door.
court had signed off on what they call a verbal like announcement that they're there. They're free to break in as they need into the home, okay, with any kind of pre-notion. So they ended up like what they use. I forgot. They use some type of, I believe, either explosive or one of those. What are they called?
Battering rams.
There you go. That's what they used. So they break that down. Before they did that, Mr. Walker didn't know what was going on. Grabs his firearm, shoots. I guess according to reports, shoots a cop in the leg. Later on, he's okay. The cops ends up being okay. But with that, they come in, start fucking firing off rounds. The police officers or whatever end up shooting Mrs. Taylor or Miss Taylor 8 times. Nowhere in the report does it say she was injured, and it also says in the report not injured. So then, like, all this discrepancy of what was it. I guess the whole reasoning for the whole raid was there was supposedly 2 people like selling drugs and all this stuff near their home, but they, for whatever reason, got the sign off from the judge to be their home to be raided. So that was the whole. This was back in March,
and it was in Kentucky, I think, because that's where they did the protest. They did it in Kentucky. I don't know what AG means, but there was somebody. They went to somebody's house to do the protest. It said Kentucky AG, and then the gentleman's name. I don't know who the fuck.
Yeah, and
none
of the officers have actually been convicted of any charges.
The reason I kind of have a saying on this Breonna Taylor thing, I heard Cam Newton say it. If you took the badge, the gun, and the name away from police, and this gentleman walked up and killed, say, anybody of color, that's murder, correct? So what makes it any more right that they walked in there and shot that lady just to shoot her, and it's not murder?
Well, my biggest question is, like, why did Mr. Walker shoot? And did he shoot blindly? Is that what it sounds like?
Basically,
it sounds like he shot just at the door.
Well, Mr. Walker gave the statement that he didn't know who it was because the police never informed him that they were the police. He by his understandings and all this stuff late at night, he thought he was about to be like robbed. Oh, yeah. So he was in defense protecting his home.
I get what you're saying, because I've seen people. Well, I'm not gonna say I've seen people. I've heard people like knock on doors to see if people are home and shit, and then break in. So that's a thing.
So the banging started, and then he shot, and then they broke down the door.
Banging started. He was like, "Who is this?" And according to him, they didn't say anything about being law enforcement.
I believe it.
And for that, he's like, well, "What's going on? It's midnight." It's like, if someone's banging on my door at midnight, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking, who's at my house at midnight blowing up my door like they're the police? Like, I'm thinking, I'm grabbing my firearm or whatever to protect myself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Especially my girlfriend, uncalled and unannounced. Not even, and then on top of that, they didn't find any drugs because it was the wrong house.
Damn, that's tough.
So this whole protesting was because of that. Kenny Stills, on top of, I believe, either 87 other individuals or 87 total with Kenny Stills included, are being currently charged with, I don't know, felonies, but they showed up, I believe, to the mayor or the governor? It was the lieutenants of the police.
It was whatever AG means. I don't know.
Attorney General.
Yeah. That's who they pulled up to. So, I don't know. I don't like the fact that you could get a warrant for a search without a
I don't like that either.
That's like verbal, because anybody could just think that, and then that.
Well, no, it's not like it was a civilian.
I'm saying anybody.
That's what I'm saying though. Like you said, reason. Like right now, like we're doing this podcast, and they let's say RPD or even the NARCs or Narcotics Division, DA, whatever, got a nonverbal search warrant, and they come in, they bust your door down, and we're like, what the like you said, what the fuck? It's late at night. It's 9 o'clock, bro. And you go and grab your gun, and they blast your ass, bro. Yeah, like we're stuck. Like
they're like, we had suspicion you have multiple cars here a lot of the time. So
and you're a drug.
No, and I agree. I by all means, I agree that should never be the case. But to play both sides, and I'm not saying what happened was okay. But, I mean, at the same time, when you're dealing with drug dealers or whatever, the best thing to do is what? Hit them up late at night and unexpected. The thing is I don't think either the judge didn't do their due diligence or the officers didn't do their due diligence of finding out the exact location.
And even then, they should have just broke in and through like non-lethal.
First
like,
of all, yeah,
stuns.
that changes when he shot. It's like okay, so like it's like.
Yeah, they're defending themselves
it's like
too.
Even if they banged on the door and like let's say they were like RPD and we shot at the door, they have within their rights to use lethal force because you.
Well, one, you wounded an officer, so
Yeah.
I think he ended up going to jail facing attempted murder on an officer, but ended up being released and all charges dismissed. I don't know if that was their like golden token of hey, we're sorry, but I mean, I don't know, because he did plead the defensive perspective thing of it all.
Oh, the defense gave him a plea deal and he took it.
I don't know. It's but like my biggest question is like everybody that wants to do away with the police or wants to defund the police, all that good stuff. I mean, you have every right. Your opinion is your opinion. But, like, how do you police the police? So, like, let's say we get rid of, like, is it the badge? Do you think it's a badge? Because I'm telling you right now, if I got a badge, I don't think it's going to be a big difference. I'd still be the talking shit asshole I am. Period.
So, I had watched Joe Rogan's podcast a while back. Shout out Joe. And he had this guy on, and he was talking about that police officers these days don't get enough tactical training, which indicates like how to de-escalate a high intense moment, you know.
Yeah, no.
Like they get like, I think in a year there's like 1 day dedicated, like 4-hour dedication to de-escalating this things. Now if that's accurate or not, I'm not sure. Maybe by city to city, state to state, I'm sure things vary. But he said, because he works in that type of field himself, this gentleman that was on his podcast, he said, we do that like 3 times a week. He said, we learn how to talk down people. We know what precautions to take, how to take somebody down without actually like leading to death, you know?
That's what my next thing was.
And those are the things that officers don't know. You throw people in the field that don't know enough. Why are these officers not getting enough training?
But that's another thing I was going to point on. Like, my biggest thing is like 8 times. You shot them fucking 8 times. Like
I don't think the guy got shot at all.
Well, yeah, that's
a lot of time.
You know,
that's excessive.
Anything over 2 shots is excessive, bro. Like, I wouldn't want to get shot once. I can only imagine you're shooting somebody in the fucking chest.
Yeah, 8
like
times.
Twice.
Yeah,
like,
multiple shots wounds
like,
is a lot.
Like, how are you not trained to disarm? Like, how are you not trained to disarm?
I guess
that's my biggest.
And
thing.
I'm not saying again. I want to reiterate the fact that I'm voicing my opinion, but again, when you get shot blindly by an individual and you're there for a specific reason, you're not sure who's in the building. It's late at night. I'm sure the lights are off. It's dark. You have to take the proper precautions as an officer, not knowing exactly that what might be going on. And so for that, it's kind of like, well, what do you do?
I don't know.
Sorry, I was looking at the charges that he was facing. Kenny Stills.
I don't know what you do. Like that's
because how do you know she's not one of the guys that they're after with the drugs, defending themselves and they got a firearm?
Yeah.
And again, I know it's a lot of shots, but it just, man, it's unfortunate. That's what it is.
It falls back on the people that whoever didn't do their right stuff. The diligence of getting the right fucking house. Or
so like that's my next. That would be another like topic. Like I know a lot of people want the police officers arrested, but like they got shot at. You like I know it was the wrong house. I understand it was the wrong house, but you shot at a cop. Like
yeah.
Like let me ask the question if like okay like.
Well, technically, he didn't know it was a cop at first.
That's true. I guess that's true. But
that's fair.
But because at the end of the day, they got families, bro. Like
he still got away with it though. He got away with the charges of shooting a cop. It's just with the repercussions of that was he lost his girlfriend, and someone's daughter.
Like, yeah,
I don't think she had kids, but still, needless to say, a life was lost.
It was an innocent life, yeah. So the outrage is correct. It's tough to talk about stuff like this because we're not there. And
we don't know all the details,
and we don't even know if what he's saying is true. Like, I'm not trying to call him a liar, and I mean, I don't know the guy, obviously. I don't know what happened. Obviously, I was not there. But, like, how do we know this guy wasn't like, fuck you?
True.
The statement he gave was, like, they didn't announce themselves.
Right.
But how do we know that?
Like I said, I think I'm not saying I have the solution, but my solution for the most part for these officers would be get them more training for situations like this. Like, there's got to be more training. I feel like
you can't train like stuff like this. It's like when you go to the Marines. Like
but that's the thing, they deal with these things.
They instill you to be a killer, right? That's what they do.
Okay, but that's different. You're not a cop to kill.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Protect.
Like, exactly. But you're putting in a situation like it's like giving you like 6 months of basic training because you're gonna have to go to the academy, right? Everybody goes to the academy, right? You have to pass the psych test and all this and that test. There's right. But it's different when you're training. Like, training is only gonna get you enough.
But that's why I'm saying if you do training and you gotta go. You're not telling me over I don't know how long there's been police officers, decades of police officers. Every type of scenario is out there for the most part, and it's not even about typically like I don't think like yeah that's a scenario, but you know you're gonna raid a house eventually. Maybe one day you're gonna have that day you're gonna raid a house. Are you gonna go up there blasting, blaring, knocking at the door with no announcement? And again, we don't know if that's true or not. But the fact is, there's gotta be proper training. You're not gonna send 10 individuals to raid a house that's never done it before and expect a positive outcome.
Well, the only reason I think it'd be true that they didn't say anything, you said the warrant was a non-verbal contact, so you didn't have to. They didn't have to say shit. They literally could just break the door in and do. That's what I'm saying. They should just broke the door in through a non-lethal like.
That's true. But like that's different though. Like yeah, you're right because like they went in there lethal. They're like fuck this, we're killing. So like he's right. Like how do you not shoot to disarm? That's my biggest thing is like even like with the videos where you see like kids are getting shot. There's people getting shot from police and they're getting shot. They're unloading clips on them, and I'm like bro.
But see, that's where I think training comes in.
But like that's what I'm saying though. A whole clip.
That's what I'm saying. Don't.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it the badge? That's why I want to ask. Is it the badge or is it just the person wanting to be evil? Like because you can put Ted Bundy, gave him a police badge. Would that have made him any less of a serial killer?
No, and that's the thing is I think these officers aren't getting that opportunity to multiple kill.
I'll go off of what I see in our town. A lot of the people that are cops aren't people that are like socially
I'm saying this now because we did a egg challenge at Matt's house. Ben was there.
I was not there.
Yeah, you were. Hey, Wes.
Don't be snitching on me.
Oh, my bad. He probably wasn't there. Right. I'm sorry. Whoever. Anyways, okay. So we did the egg challenge where you spin the bottle, you throw an egg.
Yeah.
The person that lands on gets to throw the egg at the people, right?
Right.
So tell me why somebody called the police, right? Said that we were fighting. Tell me why the hell.
It depends on the time because there is. I know people
late.
not to like to think about it, but
it was late.
After 10 o'clock,
It wasn't that late.
Anything loud is a nuisance.
It was about 7 or 8.
But my biggest thing is there was literally 6, 7 cop cars.
Dude, there was some.
Do they get excessive? Yeah.
For fighting. No, my man.
But okay, let me play devil's advocate here. Say there was some serious issues going on and only one officer went. Would you feel, and it was like, let's say your family, would you feel like, well, why isn't there more officers here? I'm just saying, okay? You have to play both sides.
But 7 cop cars with 2 in the, that's 14 cops.
Okay, but you don't.
Count them out.
That's a lot
What
of
if
cops.
someone called and said, there's a bunch of people. You don't know what that
Laughing?
person. They don't know. All they
We're
hear is
laughing.
a bunch of commotion.
No, we were laughing.
Whoever the Karen that called, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, Plains Park Drive, you're a turd nugget. I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna call you a bad name. Well, turd nugget's pretty bad.
I'm just saying you have to play both sides because if the situation was serious enough and there wasn't enough officers, you'd be complaining about that too.
No, that's a lie
You
because
wouldn't need that many
I've been in a
officers.
situation. Let
You
me tell you my story because I've been in a situation where I feel like I was profiled. You know, like, and that's weird for me to say because, you know, like when you hear profiling, you hear a lot more of the African American side.
Right.
So my sister used to own a Lincoln LS with 20-inch rims. It was clean. It was nice. I was just like, hell yeah.
You stole it.
No. She let me borrow it to work one day. She was off, so she didn't want to take me to work. So I was just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna use it. So I went to work, and then coming home from work, you know where Grand Street is, right there where Kmart is. I used to work at Kmart, so I hit the little street right there off the street where Pioneer Bank was. Hit Grand Street, right? I was coming. I don't even know where this fucking police officer came from, bro. I don't. Right, so I sped off. I turned off onto Poe to go to my mom's, back home. Right. Okay, so the cop literally fucking drove by me, right? Drove right next to me and then parked his car in front of me. Okay. Right? In front of me.
Okay. Pull his gun out?
He had his hand on his gun.
Was he scared of you?
You know what this officer asked me?
What?
How does a kid that works at Kmart own this car? That he didn't ask for my license or registration. He didn't ask for anything other than that. Okay. He asked me, how does a kid he asked me where I was coming from first. I was like, I'm coming from work, I'm coming from Kmart. And it was scary because my sister's window didn't roll down. Okay. Front window didn't roll down. So I was terrified. I was like, he's going to think some shit. I don't want to die. Because he already had his hand on his gun.
I'm not trying to laugh at it.
No, I know. But, like, for real, he did. Like, he had his hand here, and he's just, like, knocking on the window. And I was just like, the window doesn't roll down. I got to open the door. And I was terrified, bro. Like, I was like, he already has his hand there. I'm like, what? Like, all I need is for him to think, like, the black handle that goes from park to drive is a gun, and he kill me. And I'm 16 years of age, bro. 16. Okay. So I was just like, I got to open the door. Like, I had my hands on the steering wheel. I was like, I got to open the door because the window doesn't roll down. He said, okay. I opened it real quick, and he's just like, where you coming from, man? And I was just like, from work. Well, I work at Kmart. He's like, how does a kid at Kmart own a car like this? And I was like, it's not mine. It's my sister's. You know, and, like, the biggest thing was just, like, he didn't tell me why he pulled me over. And not only that, the way he pulled me over was he pulled up in front of me. He cut me off from going forward. Like, he didn't stop and put his lights on. He literally just cut me off. You know, and, like, it was, like, terrifying because I'm 16. I'm, like, high school, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to die. Like, I'm gonna get shot because I make one fatal move.
But, see, I guess I have to go back to if people, even that, like, if you guys are training for a cop, and I'm a fucking cop, too. I'm ahead of you guys. I've went through it all. And I'm the one training you guys, and I'm the guy that ends up pulling. You're the civilian. I pull you over. I teach you how to even just citation somebody properly. Not to pull up. You pull their lights on. You put your lights on. You pull them over. You come up. You ask for their driver's license and insurance. Explain to them. If I teach you those roles, then you're basically the way you are a cop will exceed to being a better cop than a cop that is basically naive to what the laws and rules are of being an officer.
But I think another point is, like, we're not taught as civilians of what, like, our rights are, because I didn't have to tell him anything. He didn't ask for my license. He didn't ask for nothing, bro. Like, he literally asked me how I own that car, and then he's just like, all right, well, I was just wondering because you pulled off pretty fast, man, and I thought something was wrong, and I was just like, and he's just like, have a great day. That's it. And it wasn't even a cop. It was literally one of the unmarked vehicles, and I'm just like, holy crap, like.
I guess my biggest thing is this: is it such a big deal just to comply?
I learned.
Why do we feel that we have so many rights that we think we can throw the book at them when they're the book themselves?
No, yeah,
sometimes they know it, but sometimes they don't.
It doesn't matter. Just the fact that they have supremacy over you, so just comply, or you're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, it don't matter your color or race or anything. It's just the fact that they're an officer, you're a civilian. Does. Yeah, but then you fuck off,
because the white guy does what Felipe did. Like, say Felipe got shot, and if a white guy did the same thing,
you don't know that. He's not doing that. You don't know that.
Yes,
it happens all the time. If the white guy has all kinds of tats on their face and driving a Cadillac on 22s too, then I don't think they're looking at him the same way either, bro.
You're being ignorant on that one.
No, you're being naive because you think because somebody's race.
That is not how it works.
Yes, bro.
You see a black guy go to jail for 5 years, but see a guy get probation for 18 because he's a white guy.
Okay, that's that's in the courthouse, and that's the thing.
It's how it happens.
But he's judged by his peers, bro. Like, when you go to trials, like how that guy that raped like 5 women, like trial kids, and he only got like 16 months of probation, but then some guy was falsely accused of rape, ended up going to jail for like 12 years, and then they finally found out she was lying. Right. And, you know, nothing was done to the lady. Like, right? I don't believe anything has been done to her. Okay. So, like, but that's, at that point, that's a trial by jury. And at that point, it's on him to make that decision. It's on you.
But that's how it is. The cops are gonna judge like, oh, he's gonna go to jail today, or he's not gonna go to jail today. Most likely, if you're a black or a Mexican individual, you're going to jail.
But see, that's what you've seen on TV, and you feed into it. That's like watching too many movies.
What do you mean? I've seen.
The thing is you. That's why people get themselves in trouble, because they think that they're gonna change the ways. They're gonna be that guy. To change it? Nobody's changing it.
You can't. Somebody got to change it.
You can't.
Okay, the moment you think you're gonna change it is the moment you're gonna find yourself in bigger shit than you can handle, and that's when you're gonna really look at yourself and be like, "Fuck, why did I do that?"
Why do we have to have the cops change, not the civilians change?
I think both need to change. I think even just down to the mask situation. Just wear the fucking mask. Get your food, get in 20 minutes and out. It's not that big of a deal, but people think it's a big deal because it's something they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. It's like when an officer pulls you over, you don't want to listen to an officer because you don't like to be told what to do. You don't like to not speed. You don't like to not use your blinker. You don't like to not use your seatbelt. But when you get in trouble for it, it's like a little kid. They don't want to be told no.
But like how Felipe said, if we educate our civilians the rights, then we can obviously prevent killings from being.
I think that would help, but I also think you're right. Because if I didn't comply, who would have known that gun would have not just got pulled?
Exactly.
But I complied with.
I comply every time because I've only been pulled over about 3 times, and I comply every time because I don't want to even be in the situation.
Because I made the decision at that point. My life is worth more than me trying to prove a point to this cop.
Exactly, no. And that's
what I'm saying.
That's my point trying to be had is...
I'm playing the other side. Like, sometimes it doesn't matter what you do or what you say. It's going to... Sometimes you do get that fucked up situation.
You do, but I think complying is just better.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because at the end of the day...
Because even if they say, get out of the car, and you're like, I ain't done nothing.
Then you're already putting yourself in a bad situation.
Just get the fuck out of the car. Just fuck it.
Do as they say.
Because they're not going to beat your ass because you got out the car. Yeah. They're going to beat your ass because you didn't get out the fucking car.
Exactly. They're going to think, what are you hiding? You might... And most times... It goes from 0 to 100 because they're like, what is he hiding? He's got to have a weapon. Maybe a knife, a gun. Who cares?
Well, pride is a motherfucker. Pride is, and I think that's what it is.
And that's a lot of people.
Like, I'm not doing wrong. I don't need to do anything.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, I'm playing the other side. Like, some people do want to fight it, and then when they do, it's most of the time, if a white guy fights it, it's like, oh, you're good. But when a black guy, you're getting dragged the fuck out of the car.
I don't know.
I've seen it so many times.
I don't know the statistic of how many white people are in prison and how many black or Mexican or Asians or any race. I don't know if there's a high or low. I don't know.
Well, the minority is going to be higher because
it's more racist.
But it's only because, like, we could say people could tell us no, but like white people get a head start. You know, like when you talk about like kids that are growing up, like how we talked about our first podcast of gangs and all that. That's a minority issue. That's Mexicans, blacks, Hondurans, Ecuadorians. That's what they feed into because that's their community. Like, you know, like they don't know anything other than MS-13, West Side, East Side, gang bang, gang bang. That's all they know. You know, and like when you go to white neighborhoods, you don't see that. You see Trevor, you see Chance playing basketball in a nice hood or a nice house, nice street. House. So like, I mean, I believe
are minorities at a disadvantage? Yeah, but is that gonna be the excuse forever?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I grew up like unprivileged or, you know, we weren't rich, but you know, we weren't poor. You know, my parents did what they did for us and made the best life we could ever have. Yes, I've not been in those situations where I'm like, oh, I have to, you know, like, I feel disrespected or profiled or discriminated or anything like that. But at the same time, you know, I am, you know, Mexican, Hispanic heritage. That's where I'm at. That's where I lie for the rest of my life. Just because it'd be like thinking, oh, I shouldn't play basketball because I'm short. You know, like I'm at a disadvantage.
That's why I didn't play basketball in high school.
But that doesn't stop me from doing the best and being the best that I can. I don't think it should stop anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't care if I go to China and go and do whatever in China just because I don't know Chinese or whatever. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
But that's also perspective. And your perspective on life is different from mine. And that's a big thing because, like, let's say all three of us have the same father, right?
Okay.
He's an alcoholic. He drinks. He beats our mom. That's all we see every day,
Okay.
right? You grow up to be a successful businessman that's never touched alcohol,
Okay.
right? I grew up to do nothing but drink alcohol. Ben grows up to do nothing but drink alcohol and beat women, right? And we ask Ben, why are you like this? And he's just like, growing up, that's all I knew. You asked me, why are you an alcoholic? Growing up, that's all I seen. And then we ask you, why are you so successful? Because all I ever seen was wrong, and I didn't want to be that guy. You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I guess my thing is I'm not really one for excuses. I really, really don't.
I just heard something today. I think it was Cam or Odell Beckham said it.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, it doesn't matter what color, what race you are. If you're right for the job, you're right for the job, no matter what the fuck it is. And he's like, it's kind of fucked up that people aren't getting those opportunities in America.
Well, I mean, it's even like the women's situation. Women didn't have all the rights that men have.
They still kind of don't.
And they're getting there, though. You see women being coaches and supervisors
diversity.
And business owners and like all these things, you know, they're getting there.
Yeah, like Cam was saying, my bad for interrupting.
No, you're good.
Cam was saying, they asked, Victor Cruz asked him, like, why is there not enough black coaches or minority head coaches? He's like, because they don't get OC or DC jobs. They don't get the offensive or defensive coordinator jobs. They get the wide receiver or the running back coaching. He's like, you don't get a fucking head coach.
But is that really true? Because is it, like, let's see. Tony Dungy was a coach. He don't want to coach no more. Who else was a coach? Herman Edwards. He's a coach of Arizona State. He don't want to play in the NFL. And maybe there's reasoning behind that, but there's
only been a few. It's like Roethlisberger's coach. What's his name? Tomlin. Rivera.
What about what's his name that coached the Jets?
Brian Flores. And then
Love.
The black
Teddy.
Is it Teddy Love?
The one
from
the Bears. The Bears,
Stanford?
right? Oh no. Shoot.
Yeah, but I know who you're talking about too.
Teddy, right?
No, it wasn't Love. It was Love. It wasn't Teddy. It was
Love though.
Damn, what was his name?
That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter.
But like, it's very rare whenever you get those positions when you're a minority because something just happens to happen. And then Odell Beckham was like, he's kind of like sat back and like.
But can I ask, other than Tony Dungy, Mike Tomlin?
What about Marvin Lewis?
Was he really?
He was a coach for
he was not
like
good, though.
20 years. What do you mean? He took the Bengals to the playoffs like almost every year he was there.
Shout out to Ocho Cinco and my boy Carson Palmer.
Thank you, Ocho Cinco.
I'm just saying, like.
They also had Ocho Cinco.
There's a lot of coaches. I mean,
I think
I
the
don't
perspective was
understand.
they're not now.
We've named like 10, and it took us a hard time to name 10.
But that's only
because I've never really given it thought. But there's a lot of coaches. What about he used to coach. He coached at Rutgers, and then he ended up going to Tampa Bay. But he's not a coach there anymore because Arians took over or whatever. Bruce Smith, or not Bruce Smith. Damn, what was his name? That was the coach. Lovie Smith was the coach of the Bears.
Lovie Smith, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, but there was another coach that coached Tampa Bay.
That was Lovie Smith. That's a fucked up name.
I'm just saying.
But he put it in perspective. He was like Todd Gurley said, he's like, every running back coach I've had was black. And then Odell's like, yeah, every wide receiver coach I had was black. And Cam Newton's like, yeah, every wide receiver.
Well, they're position players. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I'm gonna say it, and I hope no one hates me for it. But like, what are the main colors of receivers?
Black. Running backs, black.
Which ones are good?
Black.
So
which ones are good? Like,
I'm just saying,
they make good wide receiver coaches. Want to know why? Because they were a wide receiver.
Yeah, like Randy Moss. If he went and coached some wide receivers, I'm pretty sure those fools are gonna be badass.
But he knows routes. So couldn't he coach an offense?
No, because offense is very complex. So you got to think of blocking schemes.
Yep.
You have to think of play actions.
So how some of these coaches get jobs? Think about it.
Because
let's think about it. Like Bill
Belichick was not
Jason Garrett.
He was a quarterback, so he understands audibles.
Offense.
He understands motions.
So why is there not a black coach that's from like a quarterback like Donovan McNabb?
He wasn't.
Donovan McNabb. I don't know where he's.
I still think he was average.
Michael Vick could have maybe done it.
You gotta have the intensity to want to coach too, because Donovan McNabb didn't even have the intensity of wanting to play quarterback.
Some of these coaches aren't even NFL players. Some of them, like Ron Rivera, I don't think he was a coach.
No, he was. He was an offensive lineman for
So you're saying offensive lineman no more than a wide receiver?
Honestly, kind of, because you know your blocking schemes.
Like,
And that's where
yeah,
you
like-
can't tell me that offenses don't start with the offensive line.
But what I'm saying is, like, everybody should know the whole offense when you're
No.
on the team.
No, running back knows block, go out for a pass, or run through this hole.
Yeah.
Like,
But they improvise too.
yeah, but that's on the
That's
like
on spot. You
yeah,
can't, you
That's a
can't
coaching job on the spot. You're
No.
audible
no,
it
you
out.
have to
No.
read defenses.
You can throw a five wide offense out there every day, right? Five wide,
Who
five wide,
was
five
that?
wide,
Who
five
was
wide,
the
five
guy
wide.
that did the fast? The
It
guy
was the West
Chip
Coast
Kelly.
offense.
Trash.
Literally,
Okay,
five wide,
exactly.
Five wide, five wide,
Hey,
five
who's he
wide, right?
coaching? He don't coach no more.
But if
No, I
you're-
think he
if
went
you're-
to
yeah,
UCLA.
Yeah, if you don't have a capable quarterback of reading, like, okay, they're sitting in a zone, let's change this up and slap a draw on it and then get some blocking. If you can't see that,
And I'm not saying that the coaches now are the best coaches and there's not somebody. I'm just saying,
to Bill Belichick.
like we said,
Oh,
like
boy.
it's also dedication. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of like Michael Vick's an analyst. Michael Strahan has his thing. Like all these guys, they get other opportunities. Like think of all. What's the guy that he played for the Steelers and now he's a good analyst too?
The
Clark?
cornerback.
Is
Yeah.
it Clark?
Oh yeah,
Ryan-
Ryan Clark.
Ryan-
Clark. He's pretty
alright.
good.
He's alright
Uh,
sometimes.
Dominique. Damn, what's his name? He's a skinny guy. He was a corner.
Rogers Cromartie.
No,
No,
Dominique.
no,
He's always on Get Up.
He's with Marcus Spears and them. Sometimes.
Marcus Spears. Like think of. It's not like they're not doing good.
But like I don't know. I guess you're right, but at the same time, when Cam Newton put it, he's in the NFL, so he sees it. So I'm saying
Because you could even go with the like. Let's look at Tim Tebow. Didn't work out. Didn't get an NFL job
was a really
anywhere.
good quarterback,
Now
too.
he's an analyst for the college. He didn't even get an analyst for. Like
well, he was a college athlete though. He wasn't an NFL athlete.
and I agree. So you
like
you
Vince
play your
Young
roles.
should have jumped into that role. Like
You can't tell me that Marcus Spears or not Marcus Spears.
yeah, Marcus
Kendrick
Spears.
Kendrick Perkins is the most like
No, what the
athletic
heck?
person. But look, he's only one of the very few people I see that can speak on the NFL, the MLB, the NBA. He speaks on a lot of sports.
He's not very good.
I'm not saying he's good, but it's
Not very
different
good.
because you can't. I'm not gonna put. I haven't seen like Michael Vick fucking talk about all these people.
Because
Michael-
he's not. It's not his sport. It's like me. You're talking out of pocket. That's like when Max Kellerman. He's a boxing guy.
But he's
I-
pretty good. At
I don't
what he
really
does.
like hearing him talk about like baseball and stuff because I'm just like you're naive. Like when he talks
Yeah,
about
he
how
doesn't
I
know
don't
baseball
fuck
very
with
good.
him.
He
Talked
knows
about-
basketball all right. NFL pretty good.
because he's
too.
made some really stupid comments and you're just like Max, go back to just being a boxer.
right.
But yeah, it's kind of weird when you see it like that. Like just.
But
this-
that's what
that-
I'm saying. But
the-
you're
the-
looking. That's like you're thinking outside. You're looking at like how do I explain it? It's not negative. It's you're looking at it in a weird perspective. It's like looking at your wall, right? You have black tiles. You have white tiles. Well, you don't have white tiles. You have white spaces, black spaces, right?
Okay.
Like someone can come and say, "How come it's not all black?" And then people can come and be like, "Well, why isn't there any brown?"
But that's the thing is that's like I look at it this way. Like even with the governor situation in New Mexico, she can go and sway her whatever she wants one way or the other. You're still gonna have people that agree with her and people that disagree with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
No,
And that's why I'm saying like, well, that's what I want to get to saying is like racism is gonna be forever. Like forever. There's always going to be hate. Where there is love, there is hate. Where there is peace, there is war.
Unless you put a crime
sorry.
where you like, if you blatantly racist, it's like 15 years in prison, then it probably would stop.
It just seems excessive.
No,
yeah,
like
you
you
have
got
to
to think
start
about it
small.
though. It's
No,
because
you would have to be excessive.
because like racism is like built off hate. It's not built off of just being white and black. It's
But
built off hate.
sometimes I don't even think it's about racism, and I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying some people, like I said earlier, like to go against the grain, and just like the cop situation,
what I'm
you
saying.
don't want to be told no. People don't want to be told, I can't dislike this person for whatever reason I want to.
Because the color is going to bring
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean. It doesn't
Oh.
matter. It's just
So,
the
yeah.
fact that they can't do
But yeah,
it. People want
that
to
was
do
just
it.
my point because y'all were saying white people have like a higher like chance or whatever. Like
Well,
they
yeah,
have.
you got to think about it.
So
Like,
that's what I was saying. Like that
most
just brought,
white people or Caucasians come from a 2-parent household. They come from household that has very good income. You know, not a lot of cash assistance. snap, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That's what I was saying. Like I just put the NFL in perspective.
But we
I'm
still
saying-
have white people that are stuck in being poor. Like, let's not forget about that. Like, I mean, like, wealth doesn't really have a color because everyone's wealthy. So there's like Mexicans. You go to Mexico City that have fucking mansions, you know, like,
Right.
and it's not just drug people. Like, yeah, maybe they are, but I mean, there's
Don't
Mexicans
make your
out-
point like
there's-
that.
Yeah, there's Mexicans out there.
Say, well, they might be.
There's
But
Mexicans out there living like in
Big old
ranches,
mansions,
bro.
yeah.
Ranches. They have like horse stables for days, and there's people asking for crumbs on the streets, and you know they're not helping their people. You just like you see like these people that are like advocates for like the black BLM movement and all that, and you know like I'm like where do you lie? Like where are you at? Let me see the receipts. Then you really want me to buy into you saying you're making a change in the world? Let me see them receipts. What have you done for your African American? Like, what have you done in Chicago to fix all that? Did you hear about like what was it, like 54 people got shot during 4th of July? Like 7 died.
For real?
Yeah.
In Chicago.
In Chicago, bro. Like where are you at on that? Where are you at on Detroit? These minority-based cities that are stricken with poverty. Like where are you at? Like that's what I want to know. Like okay, like I understand.
get what you're
Like
saying.
what's going on right now is bad. Like what happened to George Floyd is a tragedy. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. It's sad. Like, and it hurt. It like was disgusting to watch. Like I felt gross watching it. Like, but it's just like I mean, why didn't they like you have people filming him, bro? Like you have like probably like 4 or 5 people, and you know he's not okay. Like at some point you gotta like okay, you really want to be about the shit. Why don't you go and push the officer back?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you might risk your life. You might risk your life, but would you rather be known as the guy that recorded somebody just getting killed, or would you rather be the guy that saved this man and created a change? Because that's going to create a bigger change. Was this guy is fucking dying. Like, if Ben's over here fucking literally getting choked out by some guy, I'm not going to just sit there and, oh, fuck, dude, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to go and fucking help Ben,
Right,
bro.
right.
Like,
No, and I agree. I 100% agree. I feel like more people should do something. It's just, again, I guess I just keep reiterating the fact that if those officers had any training, I think it would have been, if you know this type of like pressure on someone's back can suffocate somebody.
no, he was on his neck. He was
or
on
his neck,
Yeah, he was on
neck
his
back area.
above the
It's
shoulder
like
blades.
It's not about bad cops. It's about the good cops not speaking up.
Yeah,
Like
that's
one of those
another
cops,
issue, too.
one of those cops could have been a good
And
cop, but they
all
didn't
stood
say
there.
shit.
That's another
you know
thing
what I mean?
too. That's what I'm saying. That's
But
what I'm talking
I
about.
think
Do you
we
want to be the
talked
guy
about- No, go ahead.
Do you want to be the guy that just stood there and let that cop kill a guy, bro?
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's
what
my
I'm saying.
biggest
But
thing.
see,
Like,
they
it's-
have a job too, and I think that's where the fear comes in because they don't want to go against their own superior themselves. It's like he knows what he's doing. He's supposed to know what he's doing, but again, without the proper training, who the fuck knows? You know?
Who was it? I think it was Stephen A. I don't even like what he says most of the time, but I agreed with this. They asked him about LeBron being not having his last name not one of the social
Black Lives
whatever
Matter,
other things they picked. Yeah, he was just like it's to LeBron. It's not about having it on the back of his jersey. It's about changing laws and this and that and other. Like he actually got into in depth about why LeBron doesn't want to do it because he actually goes into the streets and
well, yeah, he
cops
created that. What is it? That school.
yeah.
You know, like, and he slapped it. What in Akron? Isn't it in
Yeah.
Akron? And
Yeah.
it helps underprivileged people.
So that's
Like, you know,
what
that's
I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying though. Like, so I can respect that, but for you to come out here and just be throwing up a black picture and hashtagging BLM, like, where are you at? Like,
Right.
where are you
Yeah.
at? Like, okay, you're protesting, like, but you're not putting into like what is it, the NPAA or MPAAA? What is it, the Negro Association of African Americans or something like that? Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
know
know,
what you're
are you
talking about.
donating to their cause? Like,
Even not even donating, just trying to protesting. I don't feel like it's doing shit.
Like,
I
why
just
are
think
you
the
doing
more
it? Why is
people
it? Why
that
are you
come
waiting?
together for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying protesting doesn't work, but I just feel like what's the true meaning? Are you getting it for your own personal like clout kind
Yeah.
of perspective? Because if you're not raising money to try to make some type of a difference, it's like you're just making noise. Where
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's like a
you're
tree falling
barking.
in the
You're
forest
just you're
and no one
barking,
gives a fuck,
and you're
you
just
know what I mean?
barking. There's no bite. Like, there's no punch.
and
behind
is that
it.
the end? You know, like are
Like,
you doing
Is
a
it?
protest
And that's
and
what I'm
that's
saying. Is it
That's
gonna?
it?
Is
Like,
it gonna
you
be?
did it and
Is it
that's
gonna
it?
be like? Are you gonna be BLM till forever? Or are you just being BLM because it's BLM trending?
Like
That's true
Then
because we live in a very trendy
That happens
world
a
now.
lot. That happens a lot. Like it's
Yeah.
like when George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin.
Uh-huh.
Like how quick we were to forget about that when George Floyd died. Like it's not just about George Floyd. It should have been about everybody that's passed away. Breonna Taylor. You got Trayvon Martin. The gentleman that was shot in his car with his exactly Eric Gardner. I totally I totally spaced on that. The guy got choked out.
Who's
Bro.
the girl that got hung in her cell, but no one ever.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
That was another sad one. You know,
See,
like it like is it just at the moment? Like you need to be about this shit like 24/7. Like be about change 24/7.
See, I don't talk about BLM, but I follow it so much because, like, if you think Breonna Taylor's death was injustice, you should go in there and be like, oh, we need to change the law for non-vocal
Right.
warrants. That shit
Yeah,
doesn't.
that
That should
needs
not
to
be a thing.
Get out of here. Exactly. Get out of here. That needs
Because
to
see,
be
those
gone.
are making
It's scripted.
changes.
Like, those
I don't
changes
feel
should
like
be
people
brought
are making
upon.
the changes for the
'Cause
right. Are they
you-
doing the protesting or other stuff for the right reasons?
They're
You
protesting
can
now
arrest
for the-
all the cops you want. It does not matter when the laws are the same. When they
Yeah.
can still make that what is it, a subpoena
It's
or
basically a warrant.
a warrant? When they can still make that warrant and it happened to the next Breonna Taylor, bro.
Yeah.
Like you are not changing anything by just wanting that cop. He shot. I want him. No, like let's
like,
make
no, like
Yeah,
let's
make-
change the whole
See,
thing.
because I think if we were to, I know this might come off weird, but investing into our law enforcement would be
Yeah.
better than taking it away.
If we're gonna complain about the laws fucked up, we'll put some of those tax dollars to works and let's change some laws.
Not only
Like,
that,
let's-
'cause we don't have-
stop. There's a lot of things you could do. You can become a judge. You can become a lawyer.
Right.
You could become a district attorney. You can become an attorney general. You can become a police officer. You can become a lot of things to change.
Or we could instead of putting them in woodworking or fucking automotive, we could put them in tax understanding, something like that.
That's
or,
what I mean.
Or
Is I
something in
think,
school
I'm
early,
not saying
bro.
the things that have happened I condone, but I also think there's a proper solution, and it's not by this side or that side. I think it's about we as the people, both law enforcement and civil, we have to come together.
To figure it out.
Dividing ourselves is not going to make matters better. It's only going to cause more chaos.
And for the people that
Yeah.
think we're just biased, that we're not caring about Black Lives Matter, it's three minorities talking right here. We do care. It's just we
I
want to find
care.
a change.
I just
We
would
wanna
like
change
a
something.
better
the change has to come
solution.
from.
Because, okay, let's
We
say
gotta
we
change
get a lot of
everybody.
people on this side of the BLM. Okay, that doesn't fix any. That means there's a
No.
war between that side and what? Law enforcement?
It's-
There's divide.
It's basically like
And
Compton.
anybody that's
You just-
blue, but what is it? Blue Lives Matter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're pitting the Black Lives. You're saying the Black Lives Matter
less.
because you're a Blue Lives Matter kind of guy, right? That's what they want you to. That's what they're saying. That
They're
if you're
trying to
if you're
sway
sitting
you
here,
one. It's like being a Democrat or a Republican.
Yes.
And it's
crazy.
not. I've never been a fan of those because I think if we were all to come together, we can be a better country than we've already been. And
Yup.
with this, I think it's like, come on, man. We have to sway each other in a way that it's a commodity,
Yeah.
not this division of like nobody. I don't think like
everybody, we're too diverse in everything mindset.
But see, that's
Yeah.
another thing
Perspectives.
is the ego
Because-
gets in front of people.
Yeah, bro.
I
Because
just
the
like what y'all
BLM
said,
movement,
low-key.
like I understand it, like I get it, like it's big right now, but like it's hard because you have African Americans that are going on and beating up people that sell elote, you know, like going and hitting them people that do sell raspado and all that, you know, like what are you doing? Like you can't sit here and say that y'all like the perspective is bad when we have people doing the same shit. Like, you know, like you gotta change the people. We gotta change the people. Like I really don't think Obama was that great of a person, but we gotta change the people.
Mhm.
We have to change as people.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing people fear is change.
Mhm.
Like even down to the mask thing, I think it's gonna be a thing of norm, and people fear change, and they're like, I've never worn a mask in my life. I should do as I want. It's like it's not about you. It's about everybody. Stop
Yeah.
being so selfish and consider others and their health and their well-being and their family that they're taking care of or what they're doing. Everyone's all mad about all these things, but I just want to put this out there because I've yet to say this on camera is Governor Grisham decided to shut things down. Numbers were low because a lot of places were closed and we weren't out and about in groups. I think she caved and decided, I'm going to allow y'all to reopen and do as you please to see how much your plan actually works. That happened for about a month. Numbers have skyrocketed and people don't understand why. Whether you believe it or not, that's the facts. Now we have to degress instead of progress because we didn't follow the simple guidelines and the simple rules of wearing a mask. And I'm going to speak to those that are parents. I feel like you guys should be more advocate towards the mask because you guys are going to be the ones in a debacle when school starts up or it doesn't because you have to go to work and you're going to have to leave your kids somewhere. And I know you can't take off work to take care of your kids and teach them at home. So you should probably be pushing those masks a little bit harder.
And then you can be pissed when it's half capacity. Kids going from 7 to 12, and your kid's at 12 to 4 o'clock, and you're like, "Fuck, how am I gonna get my kid to fucking school?"
Exactly. I'm just saying.
Ben's 6 years old. He's a kindergartner. My mom and my other half is at work, and I'm at work. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do then? You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
And I just think it's important that.
I started walking when I was in 4th grade.
Me too. I'm just saying, like. Again, I go back to just, I feel like I've learned a lot about people that either they bitch a lot, they don't know how to follow simple rules, they don't want to, they're scared of change. Like,
but those same people are the people that are wearing masks in Target and
because
Walmart.
they have no choice.
They have no choice. Might as well just wear it everywhere. Fuck it. Like, where you go, just even if they don't ask, just fucking wear it.
I'm just saying, man.
I put my mask on no matter where I go now.
I know it's hard for people. I really know that. I mean, even for me, sometimes it's hard to like. It's been in the past, more of the past, to just listen. It's like listening to your parents. You don't want to do what they say because you want to do what you want to do. Yeah. But remember, when you've done what you wanted to do, how did that outcome come out? Yeah. Usually bad. Your parents are wise. They know. I'm pretty sure Grisham and everybody super smart when it comes to science and shit probably understands something about this whole COVID.
I'm not. What's your opinion on that?
COVID. I put the mask on. I can't say much about it because I don't read on it. Honestly, I got tired of COVID. I did. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's gotten old.
It's like you said. If this mask on my face makes this state open up, so I can go to fucking Texas Roadhouse to eat a steak, bro. Just do it. Like I want to just do it. Just like Nike, put a check on it. Just do this, bitch. Like
I just do it. So it's just like. Why not do? What's the worst that happens that you put the mask on? It's like you just put it on.
Like people say, like it's hard breathing, but shut up.
I feel like it, and I was thinking about this earlier. It's kind of nice having the mask because that means these people that are uncomfortable about wearing them, they're gonna go in the store, get done as quick as possible, and out of the way.
And then you don't have to smell people's breath, bro. It's the best thing ever.
No breath, no waiting in long lines because people are trying to get the hell in and out. Like you can, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise kind of thing.
People just see the negative and it's like I don't.
Yeah, once again, perspective is a mother. Because your perspective of the mask is going to differ from obviously your viewers that watch and people outside your viewers that haven't watched.
No, they agree with this every time.
Like perspective is I think that's what it is. Your perspective is different from my view, and that's what sucks. That's always going to be the issue no matter what. That's why I say we can't sit here and blame police killing black men when police kill damn near anything. When they feel the need to,
true.
And they do, they shoot.
Because there was a video in New Mexico, police killing a white homeless dude in the mountains for no fucking reason.
You know, like it happens. Like, well, it doesn't happen. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that, but it does. It happens.
It's like the norm.
It happens.
Catch it. The only thing that sucks is that the ones that are videotaping it is the African Americans dying. Like, yes, Eric Gardner was sad. That shit was terrible. Like I said, like just even watching George Floyd's video, like it was gross. Like I felt gross. Like it didn't look like he's literally saying, "Mama, I don't want to come," and stuff like that. Like, bro, you know how heartbreaking that is for you to be pleading for your mom, a grown ass man to plead for his mom at that age. Bro, that's sad as fuck. So like I said, I get why they're pushing it so hard, but like you can't just tie it to just the police. Like the video is just of Floyd on the ground. You know, and I'm not one to sit here and say he was in the wrong. You know, I don't know what Floyd did to end up on the ground, but how do I know he didn't swing at this cop? Because they only catch it at the perspective of him on the ground with the shoulder.
Yeah, and that's something I think I brought up to him one time is we live in a very short clip world where like the whole video could be like 5 minutes. Yeah. But we get like the
30 seconds.
30 seconds of a video. And we could think this, but then you go and watch the video and at the beginning you're like, hold on, this is what happened. And then you get to your part, you're like, hold on, now that makes sense. But then you get to the end of the video and you're like, hold the fuck up. This whole thing in the 30 seconds that I thought was going on is now way bigger than what we actually know. And
I was just watching a YouTuber that brought that shit up because he, I think it was Devontae Friga. Shout out Devontae Friga. He's a hooper, and people say he sucks and whatever, but he's just like, you only see the clips that they show you. You don't watch my 20-minute video where I'm fucking going crazy on people. It's like same shit, just different kind of
right. But it makes sense. I'm just saying that's kind of, and like you said, trendy. That's what our world is at now. It's like people don't want to watch, you know, even the hour podcast. But if you watch that whole hour, you'll learn more about who we are than if somebody just took a 30-second clip of something we just said, and then now we're racist or we hate cops.
Like if they take that part where we were yelling at each other about being ignorant, and you know they'll be like, these two fuckers are just yelling at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like not really. We kind of had a perspective going.
It was a debate.
And my biggest thing is like, why not flag it? You know, like I understand you want it for evidence, but like that's disgusting. You watched the human life taken and you
that shit is
shared
scary,
it.
huh? That you could just
shared it.
watch somebody die.
That's what the world we live in, man, and we have to take it as a grain of salt.
I don't really blame the cops thinking about it now. I blame the ignorance of the viewers that were recording, like you said. Like they didn't know the law. They should have knew the law more. And if they would have just knew the law a little bit better, then they could have figured out a way to stop.
But then again, that kind of goes back to previous discussions of the schooling and the education system should be changed to where we're learning how to do taxes. We're gonna learn our laws. We're gonna learn how to fill out resumes.
That would be sick.
Well, you gotta keep the society down, like the upper deck.
I mean, what's the kids are like sponges.
Knowledge is power.
Exactly.
Knowledge is power.
That's what I was getting at.
That's what's tough.
Who brought it up? Was it Chris that said you asked if the Kardashians were dumb, and then he was like, "No, they know their law." It's like,
oh, that's true. They know their lane.
Well, their dad was a fucking lawyer, and he was a really good lawyer.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one's ever dumb. They're just ignorant to the fact of what's going on. Like, we're not dumb of law. We just don't know the law.
We don't know everything about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If everybody knew about it.
I feel like that's a common thing.
It's just with everything, basically.
It is. It's tough. And then, I don't know.
It's hard to talk about.
We don't grow up with it. Like, I think it all starts with the youth. Like I was telling you about how you said, like, being a minority, you shouldn't let that stop you from doing what you want to do, trying your hardest. And I like Chopped. I've been watching Chopped. I don't know. I watch cooking shows. That's cool. Chopped. There's a lot of people that have gone to prison, bro, and they end up being like executive chefs at some good restaurants, really high dollar restaurants, you know. And it's because they changed their perspective on life. Like, I can be this gang banging cholo all my life, or I can do something positive. And that's what we need to do as people. Like, we need to change our perspective on everything, because we can't sit here and say racism is going to get obliterated by defunding the police or even taking away, let's kill all the white people. So you're going to sit here and tell me that there's not blacks that hate Mexicans? You're going to sit here and tell me that there's not Mexicans that hate blacks?
That's what I'm saying. Is it's all about
not even changing, more of understanding the other side more. I guess the changing basically.
Put your shoes put your feet in their shoes. I get that, but like I can't put some people's shoes.
No, you can never really truly know what someone's going through. Even on a day-to-day basis, like if you're mad, he doesn't know exactly why you're mad unless you tell him. And even then, maybe he's never experienced that. So then, can he really relate?
But if you play devil's advocate with everything you do, then you kind of understand a little bit more.
You just have to, like he said earlier, knowledge is power, and the more we know, I think the better things can be. Till then, right now, everything is in a funk from one coast to the other. Yeah. I feel like with the way 2020 has started, everything is just everywhere right now. There's the whole world.
It was already on fire, and then George Floyd happened.
It's just a thing after a thing after a thing after a thing, and it's just I don't even know when that I don't know what happened, but I feel like things are way more blown up than before.
My thing is like
Because people are staying home.
yeah, it's just,
Maybe.
it's wild. Like once COVID does stop, people aren't gonna be protesting no more. The BLM's gonna be pushed under the rug like it has been in the past.
Because the festivals start up, you can go to concerts. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is like,
are you doing it now?
Yeah, we no, because you're at home and you know BLM's trending. Yeah, okay, well, yeah. You know, you're on Twitter every day. You're on Facebook every day, and all you see is BLM. All you see is COVID. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, once we get back to normal, like all the people that were fronting about BLM, I'm gonna call. I swear, if there's people that had their black picture up, I'm gonna. Hey, what are you doing now on it? Like, why aren't you still protesting? Why aren't you out here talking about it?
Yeah, because I feel like it should be an ongoing thing.
Because it needs to be. Because change does need to happen. Whether it's the police, I think it's more of the people. We need to change because you're right. Like, when I was 16, I made a choice to live because at that point in time, I could have fucking drove off. I could have been a dumbass. You know, I didn't have a license at that time. I could have drove off. I'm not about to get my sister's car repoed. I could have drove off. I could have backed up. You know, but I chose my life at the moment over my pride. You know?
Yeah.
And see, that's something that a lot of people have trouble with, is swallowing their pride and putting their ego aside.
You know, like, at the end of the day, he's the guy with the gun. He's the guy with the gun. He like, you hate to admit it, but the guy with the gun at your window gots the power. He has the juice.
Yeah.
Well, you want to call it the juice, the sauce, whatever, he has it. You don't. You are helpless in the car buckled, dog. Where are you going to go?
And even if you do have a gun, then you're still fucked. You
Even then,
killed that cop, and now you ruin his family's
life,
and
your life, your
You're going to jail, yeah.
That's what I don't think a lot of people understand, is there is a trickle effect.
Yeah,
it's a domino effect. Call
Always.
it whatever you want to call it, but every choice everybody makes, even good or bad, it has an effect on everybody down the line.
Oh yeah.
It's just the way life works.
My thing is, I'm kind of, I don't know if it's sad is the right word. I'm kind of upset. I seen all those protests in Roswell about opening up fucking the little businesses up again. It was like fucking like a shitload of people.
Okay.
Where the Black Lives Matter happened, and there was a protest, and I seen like 30 people. I'm like, y'all are crazy. How y'all really worried about a?
But that's what I'm saying though.
business?
Why are you slapping BLM on it? You should be out here protesting for change, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing is that gets like the priority misconstrued is that you slap BLM on it and people don't want to fuck with it because it's BLM. You're with them, and I'm a red conservative. You know, that's what liberals do. That's what no, like, we need change. Whether you want to sit here and defend the officer, that's your choice. I believe your mindset's fucked because that is not right. Or you want to be the guy that you know what, you don't put BLM on it, but I do want change in the system. Then let's do that. Like,
I guess that's where I stand, is I think there's a very big compromise to be made on both ends, in that when that day comes and we can all come to an agreement, that will be the day change is going to be made, and it's going to be had at a very broad perspective. Till then, I think it's just going to be a war between two.
It's going to be war between three, because Mexicans are going to think they're better than blacks. Blacks are going to think they're better than everybody. Whites are going to think they're above everybody. That's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you could sit here and you could tell me, but I've been to Hobbs, New Mexico. And boy, I am Mexican playing Gusmacker. And let me tell you, I've heard some stuff. I have heard some stuff from the brothers. I'm just saying, like, you know, like, it's not just white people out here that are racist. It's not just Mexicans, bro. Like, y'all are out here saying some pretty crude shit too, and it shouldn't fly like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I mean. I think it's just a matter of, some people could say like I'm like a conservative or whatever you want to say, but it's just.
It's the only way it's gonna happen.
I don't understand the division, and like, again, I haven't had to deal with those kind of things, so maybe I don't know personally, but I know, just like back in the day, they said 2 minds are better than 1. If we all just were able to, at least America could come together. Think of how dominant we would be as a country if we put kids first and not have the gangsters wanting to raise their kids as gangsters, or if we put just everything aside personal bullshit and put the bigger picture as being the best.
If the United States treated the United States like a football team or a basketball team, and everybody got together, they would win a championship. You know what I mean? Like they would do something crazy. But it's
I don't
like,
care. At the end of the day,
fuck Tom Brady.
nah, the United States of America is the place to be. Like at the end of the day, like you could tell
I'm
me
gonna go to Canada.
it's not, bro, but it is. Like you can't do what you do anywhere else that you do here. You know,
Right.
you can't. You can say, and I would love for somebody to tell me you can somewhere else. I want to know where.
I've never been anywhere else.
I wanna know where.
But when I do
I want
go
to know where,
somewhere,
because
I'll
I
let
mean
you
they're
know.
stoning motherfuckers still in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They're still stoning them. Like imagine that. Imagine your brother goes to jail, or your brother ain't going to jail. Your brother's about to be put in a hole, and he's stoned to death.
What do you do?
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. He probably stole a pack of gum.
That's what I was gonna. Literally, that's what I was
He
gonna
stole a
say.
pack of gum, bro.
Well, this motherfucker deserves it. I'm just
you
kidding.
know what I'm saying? Like, and then like the women that are covered head to toe. You know, you have women out here that would just want to wear
Nothing.
nothing.
Hell yeah.
Strippers.
Like I'm not.
Damn, I
I'm
love
not-
them strippers.
I ain't, but like you gotta think about it
No,
though.
I
Like
get
like everybody says
Everywhere,
America
all
sucks.
the worlds that we don't know are different than us.
America doesn't suck. Where the people inside America suck. We suck as people because like we're so negative. We're stuck on negative. We're stuck on being different. You know,
Yep.
like nobody can vibe with anybody nowadays. And
Like
that's
if
what's-
you don't like something I don't like, that could divide us.
yeah, you
That's
know,
how people are these days.
no one can come
It's
to a mutual
ridiculous.
just agree to disagree. Like if like you said, you think you're a conservative. I don't know where I stand politically.
I don't think I am. I
people
don't.
say you
I
do.
He
just.
does
I
sound
just-
conservative.
I
most of the
feel
time,
like
though.
people would like.
Well, I get what you
Label
mean
me
though.
as
I get
that.
what you mean, but like it's like going to work. You know, if you can't separate your work life and your personal life, then you shouldn't have them around. Like it's like me and Ben. If the shit happened at work caused a divide where outside of work we couldn't hang and be normal, then why do I want to have him in my life?
Right.
You know,
What are you trying
then
to say?
that's something we gotta like
Spit
and I
it
think
out,
that's what
dog.
America is. America is like just because I believe Black Lives Matter should be what the movement is now, not All Lives Matter, doesn't mean that I don't like value your life. It just
Right.
means that at the moment now that Black lives are at a like disadvantage because we're seeing a lot more videos of Black lives dying or
Right.
Black people dying from unrighteous acts, you know, like and like I said, I get the BLM movement, but like I mean when you start slapping labels on it, like it deteriorates the whole value of your organization or your what is it? Oh, what is it? Of your point of view, you know? Like it became more of the rioting.
Mhm.
You know, like we're gonna fucking get guns. We're gonna blow up fucking Wendy's, Target.
Right.
You know, and that was all like during Black BLM, you know, like
Up to Wendy's. Huh?
yeah, you know, like and it's just like we just need to come people need to change. Us people need to change. Like we need to understand that when a cop even if the motherfucker pulls you over for no good reason, bro, like just value your life at the moment more than proving a point because you can now that I know I could have got his badge number, I could have got his name, and I could have went to his captain, chief, whatever. I could have took it to court. I could have done a lot of things that I didn't know, and that's another thing of being ignorant to law because I didn't know I could do
You
that.
could have owned that car.
Like
You could have been like, "Nah, I own this car, motherfucker. Thanks a lot."
you know, like and
For being a sip.
I wasn't ignorant. See, but like that's the point. Like just at the end of the day, like just say fuck it, give him your license, go about your day.
Did he ask for your license?
No,
You didn't have one, huh?
I didn't have a license, but he didn't ask me for it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like I feel like I know how I kind of know what it feels like to be like discriminated against. You know, like because like the cop literally said, "How does a kid from Kmart work?"
I've
And that's
had
what-
that happen.
I've had a racism, but never
One time
police.
whenever I was coming from Houston, the guy asked me if that was my car. So this is your car? Like, yeah, motherfucker, I make more than you. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no,
I
but
didn't
yeah,
say,
but
I didn't say
see,
that, but I wanted to say that.
that's
But
what
like,
I'm saying.
motherfucker, what are you saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you would just go about your day, like, be like, you know what? Here's my license. Why are you pulling me over? Oh, okay, because I ran a red light. Well, there was no light. There was no light. We haven't passed the light for the past 6 blocks. How the fuck I run a red light? Like I got pulled over again.
Somebody told you red light. and you
No,
ran
I got
around.
pulled over, bro, because they said they ran my plates and they said my insurance is expired.
I ain't got no insurance.
You can't get that from running plates.
But how do you know that?
You can't. I didn't know that. And that's
But
what
how
sucks.
do you know that?
You can't though.
How do you know it?
My mother works at a state police.
You're lying.
No, she does. She cleans the offices. Shout out to my mom. You know, she worked 2 jobs, get me where I am.
Coded.
Yeah, but and you can't, like, they can run your license plate and they can see if it's an expired registration or something, but they can't see if your insurance is expired. See, and that's what got me, because I didn't know that.
Is it falling? I think so.
And
either way.
so I gave him my license and I gave him my my insurance, and he's just like, "Hey man, your insurance is expired." And then I was just like, "No, it's not expired. It's just the ID card's old." So there's another reason why I'm just like, damn, this would pull me over, because I had a nice car. I had a nice car. It happens, bro. I think that's what it is. I think it's just we got to change. But you know what? At the end of the day, I could have made that shit hard as fuck. Like, I'm not fucking doing anything. I'm not doing anything, you know? And then instead of it being the one cop that was there, there's going to be 4 cops, and they're pulling me out of the fucking car.
Sorry,
clearly, we're having some malfunction, so we're just going to end on that note. I don't think we mentioned earlier. Like, subscribe, comment, click the bell for notifications. Thank you, Felipe, for the great conversation.
Please do leave comments, though, on that whole country being better than America, because I do want to know where. I want to know where, and I really do want to have this conversation with people, because I see it a lot on Twitter, and it's a lot of New Mexico motherfuckers saying it, so I want to know where you believe it's better than here.
Yep. So comment that in comment
Sorry,
section.
we're having technical difficulties because my mic's fucking falling.
Also, everybody that copped a UTB shirt, appreciate that. Damn, that was dope.
Yeah, it was pretty lit.
Thank you.
Sold out one day.
One day. All right. Fuck it, later.
Later.
Be safe.
That's what I'm talking about.